Anyone else feel like in the past couple seasons that the AFL trade rumour mill has increased significantly? Sure, in the off-season with AFL Trade Radio and other programs on at the same time, we hear of possible trades and players wanting out from their clubs. But in 2024, in the heart of the season, a lot of articles and discussion, especially on radio, is of trade rumours. It feels like it's a little forced and sometimes plain weird. But if we all look deeper, the reality of trade rumours and speculation has a purpose.
To where he started. The Crows recently pitching the prospect of Dangerfield's age and experience as being the perfect addition to the Crows' young list. Now, Dangerfield spent his first 8 years of his career as a Crow before leaving for Geelong at the end of 2015. And this shows just how aggressive the Crows will be in the trade space this off-season. Dangerfield is a free agent.
You can't get many better examples than this. On face value, when the story was broken in May, it grabbed your attention. How could it not? Dangerfield is still a star, although near the end of his career, and Adelaide is his former club and could use an explosive midfielder like him. Mitch Cleary broke the news for Channel 7 and seemed serious about the possibility of a move. However, the next day, the Herald Sun laughed at the report and revealed a conversation between the 34-year-old midfielder and an Adelaide representative reportedly took place at the beginning of 2024, according to the Herald Sun. The call was laughed off, despite Dangerfield becoming a free agent at season's end. Well, it all wasn't that surprising, because when you think a bit harder, why would Dangerfield leave his hometown, move his family, go back to Adelaide and play for maybe a couple years, then come all the way back to Geelong? So what is going on here for an experienced and lead journalist in Mitch Cleary to go with a story that's, let's be honest, is a bunch of phony baloney? Well, for the journalist side of things, it's never been more competitive. Their job is to find news, the bigger and more controversial the better, and report it. As long as it's pretty true or thereabouts, being first is the most important part. It means you have the golden words in terms of news breaking in an exclusive story. It means football lovers have to tune into you on TV, radio, or read online articles, as we see with this Mitch Cleary example that was broken on Channel 7. This is why so many journalists have been running with player movement stories of late. They are relatively easy to get, don't hurt anyone's feelings, and pique interest from fans. But because so many are running with them and wanting to get your view, it's why the quality of the stories themselves is often to the level of the Dangerfield to Adelaide one. It's the reality of the journalism business. I'm not blaming these guys or having a go at them, just like all of society, they need to work to put food on the table, and this is one avenue for them.
How ironic that they might end up with the man who's been mentoring Harley Reid in Elliot Yeo. We know that Adelaide have made a big offer for Elliot Yeo. He's a restricted free agent, I should say. We also know that North have gone for some big fish in the last 10 years. I mean, obviously Dustin Martin, Hanbury, etc., Josh Kelly. This could be their best chance yet in landing. I know Elliot Yeo's getting a bit older, but we've heard the coach say, Alistair Clarkson, say that they need an experienced older midfielder.
11 days after this was said on Footy Classified, Elliot Yeo re-signed with West Coast until 2027. This is the perfect example for the other side of the equation, the AFL player managers and the other AFL clubs. The journalists have to get their information from somewhere, unless they make it up, which has happened in the past. So for player movements, there is basically one place to go, the management groups. Their job is to obviously get the best deal or trade for their client, and in return get a nice paycheck of their own. The rumours of Elliot Yeo leaving began early this year and mainly featured Adelaide. In 2023, other teams interested were apparently Geelong and Essendon. Now these clubs did have legitimate interest in him. Adelaide, for example, offered $2.7 million over 3 years. This isn't fake or made up, but it is used. Yeo never wanted to leave West Coast and clearly told his management. Again, their job is to get the best deal for him so they can call up Journo X and tell him Adelaide and North Melbourne have heavy interest in Yeo. This is then reported to the AFL world. Why does this matter at all? Well, it puts pressure on the Eagles to get a deal done quicker, and hope to get a better offer for Yeo. It's why a so-called serious report of North Melbourne having interest can then in 11 days' time be washed away by him re-signing. Think about it. If he was serious about leaving, why wouldn't he wait until the end of the season and really put the heat on West Coast? It's because he was never going to leave. It's only fitting, the two-time All-Australian said after re-signing. I feel like I'm part of the Wolves here now, and to be able to finish an Eagle, it's a wonderful feeling. It's a process that benefits all the parties. The journalists get their story and report it before anyone else can, meaning they are ahead of the curve. Their bosses are happy and they move on to the next one. The player managers get that new deal for their man, make their client happy, and again, move on to the next one. It's a relationship that has always been a part of the competition and most of sport, but has been fueled of late due to the competitive nature of the media industry, in which these management groups are taking full advantage of. With the length and dollars on some of these new contracts, clearly it is working out well for them and their players. So we sit in a state of football smoke and mirrors. All of a sudden Rowan Marshall is unhappy at St Kilda, although assured the club there is no way he will be leaving. Jake Waterman is apparently wanted by Geelong and Melbourne as he comes out of contract by the end of next season. However, John Ralph said the Eagles should get cracking because he's very keen to stay, but there's no deal in front of him. He's a free agent next year. We know of course he signed last year off that serious illness. He wasn't sure if he wanted to stay, he said. This is basically the same as the Elliot Yeo situation, so don't sweat Eagles fans. But the whole point is who knows what is actually real and what is just rumour used to get a couple more years on a new contract. Normally the less you hear, the more real the possibility of leaving is. I think Bailey Smith is a great case. All we really know is Hawthorn, Geelong, Collingwood and the Bulldogs are in the race. It's been this way for a while and the reporting of it hasn't been manic with random other clubs in the chase. To me it's clear Smith and his management still are undecided where he will be playing in 2024. So good luck trying to predict where everyone goes this off-season. It's impossible. But not everything we are reading or hearing on TV and radio is the real deal. The landscape has quickly evolved from breaking a news story that a trade has happened between clubs to breaking a news story that a club has interest in a player in the middle of June. It might seem useless or a bit silly, but most of us are paying attention, so the interest must be there. If it wasn't, journalists wouldn't be reporting it and managers wouldn't be ringing them up.